only option.
You're tuned in to the Iceman Show podcast. I am your host, the Iceman. More bounce to the ounce, and I say what counts. Don't nobody go home till the fat man gets it in. What's happening, chocolate people? Everybody in between. Welcome to another episode of the Iceman Show podcast, where we talk about social, political issues that affect you and you specifically. Nowhere else can you get this kind of coverage of today's political, economic, and social issues that affect you specifically. I want to welcome you to another weekly episode, and we want to make sure we give you the information that you need, as the information you need is specific, and it's the information that does not affect anyone else other than you. So sit back, relax, grab your libation, or you a shot of yak and a cigar, or grab you something to puff on, and let's get this party started. I was pondering all day whether or not I was going to do the broadcast, and I decided at the last minute that I would go ahead and do the broadcast anyway, even though I got some things popping that are essential to essential to some things that I need to do, because I'm in the process of moving, and I got to start packing stuff up in here. I got a bigger place, a way bigger place, for actually less money. Okay. And I need a 2-car garage, man. I need a garage, man. I don't need no more storage areas. I'm tired of paying people storage money. You know, I'm tired of people paying people $30 and $40 a month to keep stuff in, my belongings at their storage place. I'm just tired of going over there every month paying that when I can keep everything in one place and keep all and, you know, start buying more tools because I like to work on stuff. There's stuff that I want to do, and I can't do that in an environment like this where I don't have enough room. I'm probably going to go ahead and buy another house in another year and a half, because I can't live in these apartments, man. They just make it, you know, something's going to happen. You move in there and the maintenance guys are racist. You know, he wants to say little slick stuff, or you don't like the manager. I haven't lived too many places where I didn't like the manager, but I have lived in some places where I very few places, but I have lived in places where I didn't like the manager, especially in San Antonio. When you go and you rent these places and they got these Hispanics in the office, you can best believe everything's going to be jacked up. The apartment complex is going to be a pigsty because that's how they live their lives. Okay? They don't mind living in filth because that's how they live in their own home countries. Anyway, let's get this party cracking. Usually I wait a little while before I start the show or the broadcast, excuse me, but I'm going to have to get going because I don't want this broadcast to go into the late hours of the night like we did the last week. I don't want to do that. You know, I need to start getting in bed early so I can get my rest. I've been exhausted ever since I came back from this so-called vacation. Been exhausted, man. And then I had some dental work done yesterday. I had an implant put in my mouth, and that's starting to give me a little pain, but not as much as I thought it was going to be, but it's still giving me a little pain. So I've been popping these pain pills, making sure that, matter of fact, let me take my other medication. I need to go ahead and take my other medication. Did I take that today? Yeah, I did take that medication today. So yeah, that my dentist prescribed for me in case I had some issues with my jaw. So, but it, you know, it's feeling a lot better than I thought it was, especially after getting it done, you know, yesterday. Tuesday, excuse me. Was it Tuesday I got this done? Yeah, it was Tuesday that I got it done. So yeah, been a long time coming. I tell you, dental work is no joke, man. Dental work is something that's mandatory. Anyway, as you guys have seen, there's been a lot of nonsense going on in the news, if you can call it that. You got Alyssa Milano with her played out, over the hill, irrelevant ass. We got her running around talking about if these states continue to pass these so-called draconian abortion laws, women in America should go on a strike. Let me tell you why that is the most asinine thing. I mean, she says a lot of asinine things, but that is the most irresponsible and egregious thing she's ever said. Because you can't be a 3 or 4. Alyssa Milano is, I wouldn't kick her out of bed, but she ain't no dime. Let's just keep it a buck. She ain't exactly the kind of woman who could influence other women to go on a sex strike. First of all, sex strikes don't work because they only work with the man you got at home or your so-called boyfriend. That's the only person that sex strike might be able to work with. Okay? Sex strike ain't gonna work for women outside of the home because you can't make men you don't know. You can't deny sex to a man you don't know or you have no contact with. So, but as you can see, the feminist chickens are coming home to roost for all the feminists. They've already started the religious right and the Republicans, the far right-wing Republicans, are waging war on feminism. And it's a good thing because abortion is something, to me, in my opinion, and I'm not a doctor, obviously, but I can say this. Abortion is a medical procedure that should have been outlawed before it even got started, before they even started doing it all over the country. And the origins of abortion was for rich, aristocratic Caucasians to be able to rid their daughters of an unwanted pregnancy. That's who abortions were for. Only later did it become a means of ending a unwanted pregnancy in relationship to incest and, unfortunately, sexual assaults. In those cases, I believe an abortion should be allowed because who wants to have a baby by their brother? Huh? Who wants to have a baby by their daddy? Who wants to have a baby by somebody who has sexually violated them? I don't know anybody. You digs? But Roe v. Wade will be challenged in the next 3 to 5 to 7 years by the Christian right or the evangelical right. Because Alabama passed, I believe did the governor of Alabama sign that abortion bill into effect? I think she did. Okay. See, a lot of people think that when you get these old Caucasian women who are governors of these southern states, they think they're going to do something different than what the men would do. No, that's why they're governor, because they're going to do what the men would do. So if my information is correct and I stand corrected, you know how we do on this broadcast, the Iceman stands corrected if I say something incorrect or incorrectly. I welcome your correction if you're right. But abortion exactly, Jay, 24 hours. Exactly. And abortion should be under attack. Roe v. Wade should be under attack. And let me tell you why. See, when American women knew that the circumstances for being sexually promiscuous back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and even to a certain degree the 80s, they understood that cheating on their boyfriend or cheating on their husband, and if you know, a lot of women were too afraid of the consequences, because if they cheated and say they're in a marriage and they cheat and get pregnant by another dude, then obviously the phenotype of that child, he or she is going to have the phenotype of their father. So if the man in the house ain't the daddy, which a lot of times dudes back in my day, dudes just went ahead and took care of that kid, even though they knew it wasn't theirs. They were like, I ain't gonna break my family up because my wife, you know, dipped. I ain't gonna break this family up. I'm just gonna bite my lip and go on with my life, even though I know this kid ain't mine. He don't even act like my kid. She don't even act like my kid. Okay? So these people, so women were too afraid of the consequences or being socially shamed in their communities by other people in the community. There was hell to pay when I was growing up for somebody to go out here and have an illegitimate child. There was hell to pay, dog. You didn't go out here and get pregnant. And you didn't go out here and get pregnant by a dude that was outside of your relationship. You just didn't do that. You didn't just get clowned. You got shamed. You got that scarlet letter. You got that scarlet letter put on your chest. Everybody branded you a hoe. So there was hell to pay if you were not living by the social order handed down by the folks in the community. See, today, because we live in matriarchal neighborhoods, it doesn't matter how much of a hoe you are. It doesn't matter how many babies you have out of wedlock. It doesn't matter whether you have a baby without the benefit of a husband. Women have no shame today. There's no standards. America, especially Black women, have no standards. There's no standards. So the way they see it, people don't think that you got a lot of women who feel they can do what they want to do. But going back to my generation, going back to the 60s and 70s, women curbed their behavior to be acceptable to the larger group. They didn't purposely do things that embarrassed the group or their parents, because back then most black families had a father at the head of it. And women respected what a man brought to the table, just like men respected what a woman brought to the table. So they worked as a team, not as adversaries, as they do today. So back then, women, even if they wanted to screw around, they made an effort to not do that, at least not in public. They made the effort to try and be a decent woman. Although some still made mistakes and paid dearly for them. You digs? So here's the thing. Women, though, that fear of consequences kept American women and it kept their behavior to a certain degree in check. But then they came out, they made abortion in 1973 with Roe v. Wade. They made it so all 50 states you can go and get an abortion done. Then they came up with the birth control pill. That just, women just lost it after that birth control pill, because now I can take this pill and fuck around as much as I want to. You see what I'm saying? But the problem became over time, if you look at studies on birth control, what happened on time is women start getting lazy. And they say, hey, I'm tired of having to take this damn pill every day. So they started slacking. Because I can tell you from my own experience with all the women that I've dated, a lot of these women would be lazy when it came to taking their pill. Because, you know, most, especially black men are real astute on when that period gonna come and whether or not that woman is taking that birth control like she's supposed to. Because a lot of women, they leave their birth control pills on the dresser. So you look at them and you look in that little round box and it says, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You look over there, Tuesday pill wasn't taken, Wednesday's pill wasn't taken, Thursday's pill wasn't taken, Friday pill was taken. You can't do that. And I've had conversations with these women. Look, you know, I ain't using I'm not using a condom on a regular basis. So you need to be taking your pill. Otherwise, I'm going to go back to wearing condoms every time because I don't want no more kids, or I don't want no kids by that particular person for whatever reason. So what these women started doing is they started getting lazy. So abortions, once they made abortions legal and they made abortions acceptable for women to get, and the stigma and the shame of getting an abortion was minimized to a certain degree, you had women out here using abortion as birth control. Abortion should only be used as a last ditch effort to get rid of an unwanted pregnancy. That's why you have to, that's why a lot of brothers will post stuff on Facebook and be like, yo, dog, if these black women ain't got no money and they broke or they poor, why are they having kids? When clearly you can't take care of them. You don't have the resources to take care of the child. See, that's why when with no good President Clinton put that Nazi child support bill on sign that bill into law, think it was 96, that gave these women the ability to walk around here and feel infallible. That's where all this, I can do what I want to do. I'm an independent woman. That's what really strengthened and solidified that ridiculous mentality that I can do what I want to do. And, I can have as many kids as I want, because as far as white daddy and white mommy is concerned, down at the county, down at the welfare office, they going to take care of them kids regardless. So there was no incentive for women to keep their knees closed. Y'all see where I'm going with this? There was no effort to be sexually responsible. Fast forward to 2019. Those chickens are coming home to roost. All let me tell you something. Because of Trump, the feminist hustle is coming to a halt, coming to a screeching halt. And the longer Trump stays in office, the more damage is going to be done to feminism. Now, these women sit around here talking about my rights, my body. Well, you know what? If it's your body, then why'd you share it the other night when you was over at the crib? Huh? Since it's just your body. I tell you what, since it's your body, why don't you take your monkey ass over to the fertility clinic and pay them untold thousands of dollars, buy you some sperm, and have yourself impregnated. Oh no, you ain't gonna. No, you don't want to do that, because that ain't no fun. You see y'all see where I'm going with this? See, it ain't no fun for a woman to do that, because she can't stick her finger in a man's face and talk that it's my body bullshit. Y'all see where I'm going with this? See, women just want to be able to act like 3-year-olds. That's where all this comes from. They want to be able to act like 3-year-olds and be irresponsible. And if they do get knocked up, they can always run down to white mommy and white daddy down at the county building and get that welfare and that WIC and that Section 8. I'm not saying these women are living high on the hog being on the system, but they damn sure living better than the women over there in Iraq. They definitely living better than the women over there in Colombia. You digs? So now they're talking about, oh, these men are attacking our reproductive rights. First of all, you have no rights. The minute you have to spread your legs and deal with a man and receive a man between your legs, it's no longer just your body, because you're sharing that body with other people. So for you to sit here and say that a man has no right in this situation, I think Ohio, if I stand corrected, didn't Ohio, isn't there a law in the books in Ohio that they're trying to get passed, where women have to, if you got pregnant and you know who got you pregnant, you have to get the consent of the man before you can get an abortion? Because what a lot of these no good women will do is they'll go out here and get pregnant, and then they won't even consult with the dude. Trust me, I know. I know women who have waited almost 4 months to get an abortion and still didn't tell the dude. That's some cold shit. What if he wanted the baby? See, you see how fucked up this situation looks, people. And most women have never seen an abortion done. They've never seen the vacuum machine that they stick up in there where they chop the baby up in pieces and suck the baby out that way. They never show these women exactly what they're doing. And if they did, you'd be like, this is some Reanimator shit. This is some horror movie shit. That's why they purposely don't show people exactly what an abortion procedure looks like, because they know you would be horrified. But then at the same time, brothers, it's probably a good thing that that woman got an abortion, because you probably don't want no baby by her raggedy, sorry ass anyway. And when you do find out, most of us are like, whoo, boy, I dodged the bullet, because I sure as hell don't want no baby by this sorry hoe. Look at her, look at the kids she already got that she ain't taking care of. So Alabama passed a law restricting, and I think another state, I can't remember the other state, but oh yeah, Georgia. So what the Planned Parenthood people are going to do, as well as the abortions rights feminist groups are going to do, is they're going to file lawsuits. They're going to file state lawsuits against those states. And those cases going to go all the way up to the state Supreme Court, and the state Supreme Court is either going to remand that case to go back down to the district court level, or they're going to let it pass through to the federal court of appeals system. And these cases are going to make their way all the way up to the Supreme Court. And you see how the Supreme Court is stacked. If the case to challenge Roe v. Wade was presented in front of the Supreme Court, they could easily get a 5-4 decision and strike down Roe v. Wade. Do you know what kind of damage that's going to do to these women when they know when they can't use the abortion clinic as their birth control? Do you know what's going to happen? Now, I heard Messy Jackson on the radio today with Reverend the informant, FBI informant, Sharpton, and Jesse Jackson was talking about black women, you know, have these unhealthy pregnancies. You know, a lot of black women get, you know, birth, what we call pregnancy diabetes, and pregnancy, different types of pregnancy anemias, high blood pressure, because these women have no resources, so they're stressed. And then on top of that, you ain't got no husband. I don't feel sorry for a woman that sit up there and say, well, the baby daddy didn't want to take me to my appointments. First of all, you was never with that dude. He wasn't never your boyfriend. Quit lying, bitch. He wasn't never your boyfriend. He ain't your husband. He's just a dude you smoke a hydro with and drank some Henny, and you got pregnant in the process. You wasn't never together. So why you mad that he don't want to drive you to your pregnancy appointments, to your doctor appointments? And you're stressed because you don't have a job and you don't have any resources to take care of a baby. So you're stressed. So I heard a story on NPR one day. You know, black women are having all these unhealthy pregnancies, and more infant mortality rates are kind of high with American black women, but they're high with American Caucasian women too. For America to be a first world nation, we have a pretty high infant mortality rate here. And there's a lot of factors that go into that. I can't, you know, we don't know all of them, but we can say that economics is a factor. Economics and access to healthcare is a factor. That's why you don't have babies when you don't have a pot to piss in. When a woman got pregnant, when I was a young man, if a woman got pregnant and became a baby mama, you got clowned. That wasn't no badge of honor like it is to be a single mom today. Back in them days, oh, hell no. If you got pregnant, you got clowned. You disappeared. A lot of times, like I knew women that got pregnant in high school, they left the school, went down south. It was just like back in the day. Remember if you lived like on the West Coast like we did, or on the East Coast, remember when you and your sister, your cousin, your female cousin got pregnant? What did they say? Well, I mean, you know, when your male relative went to jail, what did they say? Junebug went down south. Remember that? Now, Junebug is doing a bid. Okay? Junebug is up there in Folsom. Okay? Junebug is he's at Huntsville. Okay? Fuck out of here, man. Let me turn this fan on. See, people they ain't got no shame now. You go to jail today, it's a badge of honor. You get pregnant today, no big deal. Mama got pregnant when she was 15. Okay? So there's no standards. Black people ain't got no standards. So now you got all these women whining and crying over the thought of Roe v. Wade being on the chopping block in the next 5 or 6 years. I could care less. I hope they strike Roe v. Wade down just to show these women that you ain't queen of us men. You ain't no ruler over us men. We men have more power than you give us credit for. See, you got to understand something. The white males who run this country, they let these women think they running shit. They let these women think that that America is going to become matriarchal. And as you can see, I've had some of my most loyal listeners send me emails. I had one of my very loyal one of my listeners sent me a message today. He and I were chopping it up about dating, and he was saying how hard it is to date today. And I said, it's hard to date, especially if you a good dude. Now, if you a bum ass nigga, it's easy to date because American women love bums. American women love bum ass niggas of all races. They don't want no man that got anything. They want a bum because they can always talk down about him. They can always go to their girlfriends and be like, that nigga Reg, he ain't shit. But when they meet a dude that is about something, who is an on-point brother, look how they act. They run away from your ass as fast as possible. If you own your own business or you got a professional white collar job and you make pretty good money, these women can't wait to run away from your ass because they know they can't tell you what to do. They can't control you. You digs? So the abortion debate is really got these women in their feelings. And I tell all of you males, all the brothers out here, hey, don't even sit around debating these women on abortion because most of these women ain't got no damn sense. Don't waste your time arguing with them about abortion because all of them feel they should be able to do what they want to do, even if it means killing a human life. They don't care. All they want to be able to do is do what they want to do. And they act that way even at my age. I'm in my mid-50s, and you got women who act like they ain't got no damn sense. Okay? I was listening to a brother on Sirius XM on Earthquake show. Comedian Earthquake got his show on Sirius on Kevin Hart's channel. And this OG called in. And he said, look, man, I'm retired Army. I live in a brand new $350,000 house. He was like, man, I live good. I got, my two sons, I got two minor sons still living with me. He said, look, man, I'm getting tired of meeting these women and they got the nerve to, I meet them and they up here talking about, let me move in and here this woman got a 2 or 3 year old kid. And he like, I ain't taking care of no kid. I ain't taking care of another man's kid. Only a fool wants to be a stepdad in these days and time. Now, 40 years ago, it was okay to be a stepdad. If you a stepdad in 2019, you proud of that shit, you a clown. You a damn clown. You a fool. You are. You a fool for taking care of some other man's kid. You's a fool. Whenever I've dated single moms, I told them, look, you better go get her daddy to take care of her. Because I ain't taking care of no another man's kid. Well, we ain't got nothing else to talk about. Bye, bitch. I can find a single mom. I can throw a rock and hit 10 single moms. Ain't nothing special about you. Get out. Hey, look, guys, let me say something to you. You should not be out here on these streets talking about fighting for abortion rights. Dude, that ain't your fight, dude. That's not your fight, black man. Stay your ass at home. If your woman wants to go out there with a picket sign complaining about reproductive rights and all that, let her go out there and eat donuts and drink hot coffee with all them other old cackling hens. Let your girl go out there and do that. You stay your ass at home with a beer in your hand watching the game. That ain't your fight, dog. Not your fight. But you will benefit the longer Trump is in there because all that feminist shit is under attack right now. Okay? Mainly because of Pence. Okay? I don't necessarily like Pence and I don't necessarily like Trump, but some of the agendas some of the issues that they're dealing with and that they're shooting down, I respect it and I love it. So to all you feminist broads out there who who don't like Trump and Pence, that's your problem. I like what they're doing because it's gonna put your ass in your place. Because you done, like my dad said, you done got too big for your britches. See, these women that got out of hand, guys, and that's why dating is so difficult, because when you have taught somebody that they can do whatever they want to do at somebody else's expense, and then they go out here in the real world and try to, put forth the effort to do whatever the fuck they want to do, and they get met with opposition, that's what happens. Because most men ain't gonna let you run game on them. Now, those simps and the tricks will let you do it, but a real man ain't gonna let you run that bullshit on him. And you know that. That's why these women are all up in their feelings. They're taking our reproductive right. You have to understand, guys, the reason why that's the abortion issue is so important and contentious to women is because it means the end of irresponsibility. The era of feminist social irresponsibility and sexual irresponsibility is coming to a close, because birth control pills ain't gonna work unless you stick them in your mouth. And a lot of women are not doing that. They don't do that shot where they get a shot every other month or shot every month or something like that. That's huge in Europe, getting that birth control shot. A lot that ain't real big here in America. But there's all kind of devices you can get. They can get IEDs, IUDs. The IUDs that they got today are a lot more effective and a lot safer for women than the ones they had back in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s. Because there have been a lot of lawsuits of women getting, uterine cancer and all kind of cancers and shit, or all kinds of infections from these devices. You dig? So you have to understand something. If they do away with abortion, that means these women have to be responsible. That means they have to be accountable. And so all the irresponsibility politics that women are so supportive of, those days, they know those days are numbered. And they know they're going to have to be responsible. And that's what they're angry about. Okay? They've been irresponsible so long, and they've enjoyed being irresponsible. And every time there was something that they don't like, they went out there and protested and screamed and hollered and clapped their hands and stomped their feet and acted a fool like little children. That worked 10 years ago. That ain't working today. Men are like, y'all can go fuck yourselves. Okay? See, a lot of men, a lot of you guys detest this kind of behavior from women, but you too scared to say anything because you don't want to lose your job, or you don't want your girlfriend to run off, or you don't want your wife to divorce you. That's why you tune into the Iceman, because I can say it. And I can say it with impunity. And guys, let me tell you something to you young brothers out here. Wear a condom, not just because there's a possibility you can get this woman pregnant, but the fact that there's diseases out here you can't get rid of. Just because they got better HIV medications out here who will allow you to live a full life, as long as you taking care of yourself and you keeping your T cell count high. Why would you want HIV, dude? You don't know what these women got. A lot of women don't even get pap smears done every year. Whenever I've said to women, hey, you have a problem getting an HIV test? Why, you got it? No, I ain't got it, you dumb fool, you idiot. But I get tested. When are you gonna go get tested? Then they all scared and shit. Well, I don't, in case I got it, I don't want to get tested. I'm like, you idiot. You're an idiot. Five signs Black people are still slaves. Everybody, this is $5 donation Thursday. We're asking that you donate $5 to the 501c3. And what I do between January and August, first week of August, is I fundraise for the following school year. And what we fundraise for is for backpacks, school supplies, and clothing, and which includes uniforms, because in some districts the kids wear the same clothes. The only thing they have to get is drawers, socks, and shoes. But I believe that these kids need clothes as much as they need new backpacks. And as you know, a backpack can cost $40, a decent one. Now, if you want some plastic shit, that stuff ain't cheap either. I hate a cheap backpack. So that's what I'm trying to do. And what I try to do is I try to raise $10,000. And so that's why, if you want to know where the money is for, what the money is for, that's what it's for. So go to asktheiceman.com, scroll down to the donate button and donate there, or hit me on the Cash App. My Cash App ID is $the-Iceman1906. So let's get that popping, yo. All right. What up, Brown Sausage? Love you, brother. Yeah, a man without a backbone is a weak male. You ain't even a man. You digs? So let's get these donations popping. If you haven't donated, please, let's get that cracking. We're only asking for $5. That's it. If you want to donate more, that's fine. But let's get it cracking. Nobody's donated yet. Let's go ahead and get it done. All right. Shoot. Follow me on Twitter at The Iceman Show, and follow me on Instagram at The Iceman Show. At The Iceman Show. All right. Follow me on Twitter so you can be in the know. Five signs that we are still slaves. Number one, restricted mobility. What I mean by that is, during slavery, a slave could not go anywhere off the plantation without the master's written, tacit approval. Because the patrollers, or the paddy rollers, slave patrollers, which morphed into what our modern day police force is, they would be out there to do something to you, actually, whether you had your papers or not. And so today, there are places around this vast country where Black people cannot go. There are still sundown towns in America, all around the Midwest, all around the Northeast, and definitely in the South, where Black men and women and children cannot go without there being us being physically attacked, if not killed. So here we are in 2019. We're supposed to be living in a post-racial society, so some of y'all think. And yet, you have restricted mobility. There's restaurants you can't go. There's clubs you can't go to. There's bars you can't go to. There's other public establishments where you cannot go to these places. Number two, the police can do anything to you with impunity. Think about slavery. Anybody Caucasian could do anything to you, and that was in the North and the South. We live in a police state, but we really seriously live in a police state as it relates to Black folk. Give me a second here. Okay. Just as I just stated, back during slavery, we had shadow slavery. Anybody white could do anything to you with impunity. So essentially, you live in a racial caste system where anybody could do anything to you, particularly Caucasian people. The third sign that you live in that slavery still exists is that any Caucasian citizen of these United States can bring harm to your doorstep. They can physically harm you with impunity. They can call the police on you. Remember, we have all these these white male and females calling the police on black people at public pools and hotel pools. You know, little black girls selling water on the street in front of their building. They get the police called on them. You got white males and white females calling the police on black people in parks barbecuing. What do you think they're exerting? What do you think they're exercising? They're exercising, in their mind, they are exercising the right to be your slave master. And there's nothing you can do about it. And it doesn't matter whether you're college educated, doesn't matter if you're Ray Ray, Pookie, or Day Day, or Darnisha. It could happen to you. Any white American citizen can be deputized to bring harm to you, whether it's social harm or economic harm or political harm or I said social harm, didn't I? And social harm to you. That lets you know that you still live under an apartheid slavery system. Number 4, you are economically deprived of the same resources that Caucasian Americans take for granted and spit on a daily basis. Let me give you an example. SBA loans. Out of the $24 billion that the SBA doles out every year, black people average about 1% of those getting those loans. Did you know that? Yet you pay your taxes every year, just like the rest of other Americans do. You work hard, you try to save money, you work your butt off, and that's how you get treated. An average of 1.5% of black folks get some of that 24 billion. So you are economically deprived. They fix it to where you can only live in the poor parts of town, where there's all that crime and the track is over there, they trapping over there. Okay, wherever there's some crime going on, that's where they stick us. So you are being shut out. You are being deprived of America's vast resources. That's why, I tell folks to exercise if no other time, use your vote as leverage in this 2020 election. If they are not willing to give us tangible resources that we can quantify, then we ain't voting for you. And I don't give a damn if Trump is in there for another term. So what? Every president before him did nothing for you. So what difference does it make if Trump is in there for 4 more years and then Pence is in there for 4 years after him? Who cares? You're going to catch hell anyway. Don't tell me your life is better because of Bill Clinton's no good ass. Bill Clinton passed more sweeping legislation that has directly impacted black folks than Reagan ever did in the 8 years he was president. And yet Bill Clinton was supposed to be your friend. Bill Clinton was a Democrat. And look what he did to your ass. He made it legal for people to enact laws to put you in prison for lengthy prison sentences that don't fit the crime. That was Bill Clinton, not Trump. So when I hear lames like Jesse Jackson getting up on television, on the radio, talking that bullshit, if there's no other reason you should vote is to make sure that Trump ain't reelected. That's not good enough, dog. That ain't good enough. It ain't good enough that Trump, it ain't good enough that Trump might get in there for another 4 years. Matter of fact, he's going to be in there for another 4 years. He's going to get reelected. I'm saying that right here, right now. Because even when that election was going on in 2016, I was one of the few people on social media saying that Trump is going to get elected. And I had people saying, oh, no, man, they ain't going to let that fool in there. I'm like, watch. Watch. I'd rather have Trump in there than Hillary Clinton any day. So when you hear these beat down has-beens like Reverend Jackson talking that bullshit, we can't let Trump be in there 4 more years. No, we can't. Because I'm not voting for a Democrat just because. You ain't going to get my vote unless you give us tangible resources that we can quantify in the form of a check. Otherwise, you need to sit your ass down somewhere. Okay? So economic deprivation is something that you do to enslaved people. You deprive them of America's vast resources and you fix it to where only certain people based on race can have those resources or access to those resources, whether they utilize those resources or not. You digs? And number 5, they can take what you own and there's nothing you can do about it. During Reconstruction, they had the freedmen's banks. And so all these former slaves, once they started businesses, started, farming started farming, they would take their money and put it in the freedmen's bank. Well, what did the freedmen's bank do? The freedmen's bank, whenever they felt like it, they would just take our money, and they would just take our money. Just like if you were a slave, they would take your money. You don't believe me? Go online and research it. They would just take our money. This is how you know that they consider us to be property, just like a cow or a dog. And the reason why that all 5 of these things are still taking place today is because they see you as property. They see me as property. Niggers are not supposed to have anything. Niggers are not supposed to have independence. Niggers are supposed to be at the whim or at the will or at the disposal of any Caucasian person, whether they rich, poor, middle class, whatever. Now, think about that list of 5 signs. Just think about that for excuse me. Think about that for a second. Sounds like you still enslaved, don't it? Yes. We never got freed. Whatever that, what was it, the 14th Amendment? The 14th Amendment never definitively says anything. It dances around a lot of stuff and it's evasive, just like the Civil Rights Bill was. Nowhere in the Civil Rights Bill does it say blackity black. You cannot do this to black people. Black people should be able, you cannot impede upon black folks' progress. Well, if the Civil Rights Bill had any teeth, then why is it that these 5 things are still happening to black folks even today? Explain that to me. If we got so-called civil rights, then why is it that they can just do the white police officers can white race soldiers posing as police officers can do anything to you and they never go to jail? Unless in the case of where they kill a white person. Or if they do go to jail for killing a black person, how many times do we have to keep telling the district attorney, you better prosecute this motherfucker or we gonna destroy this goddamn city? And then when they do give them a sentence, it's a light ass sentence. That no good cop that killed Laquan McDonald should have got 20-something years in prison, yet he got 6.5 years. Which means he's only going to do 2.5 years and he's going to be back out on the street. That ain't justice, people. That's not justice. The cop that killed Tamir Rice, he's now a sheriff's deputy for a county somewhere around in the Cleveland area. If you weren't a slave, he would not have been able to get away with that. The police and detention officers who killed Sandra Bland, nobody got prosecuted and nobody went to jail. Why? Because you live in a police state. You live in a country that is not only a police state, but a slavery state. See, when you break it on down to bare bones and you take your feelings out of this situation, you see what I'm talking about. I'm not trying to piss nobody off and I'm not trying to make anybody angry. I mean, make anybody upset. I'm telling you the facts. The problem with black people is we have a habit of not wanting to look at facts. That's why we love religion, because with a religion, you don't have to be accountable. You don't have to do anything but just, blurt out a couple of praise gods and amens and people leave you alone because they think highly of you that you're religious. That's the hustle that my ex-wife runs. My ex-wife never went to church, never passed by a church. But when she saw her bad decision making was going to catch up to her, all of a sudden she jumped her tired fat ass in church. Praise God. Ain't nothing that woman says or does that's godly. I laugh at people who jump behind religion when they get old. Oh, you scared. But all that devilment that you engaged in earlier in your life, even up till today, you still gonna have to answer for that shit. See, religion is not based on facts, which is why women love religion. And Black people specifically love religion because you can be religious and still be socially irresponsible. You can still hate yourself. You can still hate being a Black person. You can still hate your nappy hair. You can still hate, you can still be a weak, lame, pitiful individual that any white person can mistreat. And that's why people love religion. Because they know they don't have to be accountable to anybody. They don't have to really do anything but bullshit people with religion. I talk about this. I talk about that in my first book, The Game of Life According to the Iceman, Volume 1. If you don't have this book, you need to get it. You get it directly from me, and I'll autograph it to you. You can go to asktheiceman.com, scroll down to the add to cart button, and go from there. Or you can get this at amazon.com. My second book, The Dating Bible, I'm going to have that out by next year. So as you see, technically we are still slaves. And that's why it's imperative that we get laws passed specifically making us a protected class of people, just like the Native Americans have. It's not just about getting America to cut ADOS Blacks a check. It's also about us becoming a legally protected group of people, protected from these death squad police officers and these deputized white supremacist citizens out here who think they can just run up on any Black person and shoot you or me or stab us, like this devil down here that stabbed 2 white people on the Metro Rail train down here in Portland. He killed one guy who was a veteran. He was in the National Guard veteran who served in Iraq. Another guy had to spend 6 months in the hospital because he cut his neck up. And then, 2 Black women. No, he killed one woman. He killed a Black woman. He killed, and the other one he injured, but she didn't die. And instead of putting this guy in prison, the courts keep doing mental evaluations on this guy. See, that's how they do us. I mean, how they do Caucasians. When Caucasians clearly do some evil shit, especially when it affects a Black person, the first thing they want to do is put them in a mental hospital for 30 days. Now, if that was me or you, we get denied. Oh, no, you're not going, no, Mr. Johnson. We're not going to put you in, we ain't putting you on no 30-day mental health hold. We ain't going to put you on there. You Black. You killed a white person. You're gonna have to stand trial, motherfucker. You competent. See how they do? So you have these, You know, you got Crazy Joe, you got Kamala Harris, you got Cory Hooker, you got all these other Democratic, you got Buttigieg, Booty Cheeks, Mayor Booty Cheeks, Mayor Booty Cheeks of South Bend, Indiana. They're just wasting time. You know, damn good and well, most Americans ain't gonna vote for him. I don't want no homosexual president. Why are they wasting? Why is the Democratic Party wasting people's time like the way they doing? When they know the only one out of that group who has any shot at running against Trump to a certain degree and to be effective to a certain degree is Biden. And like I told you guys, the Democratic ticket for 2020 is going to be Biden O'Rourke. Put some money on them shits. I'm gonna tell you right now, if Las Vegas puts the odds out there, I'm gonna bet on it because I know I'm gonna win. He ain't gonna pick none of them women because that would be political suicide. And he ain't gonna pick no homosexual, and he ain't gonna pick no black person. He ain't gonna pick no Jewish person because that would be political suicide. It's gonna be Biden O'Rourke against Trump and Pence. Mark my word. I've said that on at least 5 or 6 of these live streams. That's what's cracking. You digs? The Democrats are desperate right now. So that's why they keep promoting immigration, illegal immigration, because they're trying to get these Hispanics over here, and in return for them allowing them to come over into this country illegally, they figure they're going to be beholden to them by voting Democrat. But we have seen, based on what happened with the Cubans, is that they come over here, start seeing themselves as white, and start voting Republican. And even some of these Central Americans and some of these Mexicans who voted in 2016, they voted for Trump, and then turn around, he threw their ass out of here. Shit got me laughing over here, dog. I'm laughing at you Hispanics that voted for Trump, and now he throwing y'all monkey asses out of here. Thank you. See, I don't support Trump, but I support some of his agenda. And those of you black folks who support these people coming over here and becoming citizens, breaking into your country, and you think it's okay for them to do that, you talking that, well, you know, bring us your tired, bring us your sick, they should be able to come over here. We immigrants, first of all, black people are not immigrants. We are not immigrants. We were never immigrants. We were stolen from our land and brought over here by force. So you are not an immigrant. And for you to support the Democrats and the Republicans allowing another group of people to come over here to replace you in the workforce, you are a damn fool. You are a damn fool for supporting immigration. You ought to be the first one telling Trump to build that wall. Because those people are coming over here, and that's why your teenage kids can't find a damn job, because Sancho and them and Maria and them are taking all the fast food jobs. They trying to support a whole goddamn family of 10 people off a goddamn fry station job. That job should be your 16-year-old son's job. You dummy. You ought to be in favor of them making it way more difficult, if not impossible, to come over here. You sitting up here talking about, man, they doing them people wrong. That ain't dude. Them people got to hold their own nuts. They got to hold their own nuts, just like we have. Because of black people, you got these Indians coming over here. You got these Chinese coming over here. You got all these other races of people coming over here because of us, because of the bag that we created in America for them to come over here and enjoy. If it wasn't for the blood, sweat, and tears that our ancestors put out there to build this country, there wouldn't be a country for them people to steal in, for them to break into. You need to be hostile toward these people. They're like roaches. Every city you go to, they got their asses there. They allow these people to come over here to replace us. To replace us as voters and replace us as laborers. That's why unemployment is so high with black people in this country. And because of your ignorance, you support these people coming over here because you don't know any better. And those of you who do know better, you choose to be ignorant. You digs? You ain't got no business supporting immigration. We already got immigration laws on the books. Hell, if you leave this country without a passport and try to get in here, you can't get your ass back in here. Do you know what kind of red tape that you would have to endure to get back into this country? And you were born here. You could show up with your birth certificate, your driver's license, military ID, every goddamn thing, and they will have you sitting in them offices all day. They'll eventually let you in, but they're probably gonna make you pay a fine or something. But they can legally keep you out of your own goddamn country, but yet they turning a blind eye to these people coming over here. Come on, black man, you know better. Use your head. Yeah, you could be cool with Sancho and them on the job. It don't mean you got to support that political shit. Black folks always act like they got to be somebody's fucking friend. We always act like we got to be, we got to like everybody. See, I learned a long time ago, it ain't about liking people. It's about getting your agenda taken care of. It's about getting your issues met. It ain't about your feelings. Black folks are always about this. You got grown ass men calling into these shows on Sirius XM talking about, well, I like Kamala Harris. Dude, it ain't about liking nobody. Why would you want a female president? It ain't gonna never happen, but why would you want a female president? Do you know they're gonna be pushing forth every kind of legislation that's gonna put black men further and further behind the 8 ball? And that look at Obama's ass. Obama did absolutely nothing about Detroit going belly up. He didn't do nothing about that Flint water crisis. He didn't do nothing about police shooting us. He did absolutely nothing. He did nothing. And you got black folks walk around here talking about he was the greatest president ever because you liked him. See, that's what happens when you like people. When you like people, you don't see what they really about. You don't see their faults. You don't see you fail to see the bullshit that they're on. See how that works? So the Democrats are desperate right now. They know that voter turn, and see, they keep playing these little games trying to separate black men and women. So they go over here and try to run this sister girl, hey girl, hey sister girl, try to run this game on black women, try to run this game that, there's some kind of sisterhood between white women and black women when there isn't. They only use black women to get to fuck over black men. And black women ain't falling for that shit this time. You got black folks calling up to shows talking about, well, I hope Stacey Abrams run for president. That woman couldn't even win the governorship of Georgia. What makes you think that she's gonna? Why would you even waste your time? Why would you even fix your mouth to even talk about that woman? You go to her webpage, and what does it say? I support LGBT. I support illegal immigration. Don't say nothing about supporting black folks. Why would you want to vote for somebody like that? Huh? Just because somebody is black don't mean they got your best interest. Because I'm going to tell you right now, Stacey J.J. Abrams ain't going to do nothing for you, just like Obama didn't do nothing for you. She ain't nothing but a political hack that the white Democratic Party keeps sticking in front of us. You got to win the race you were just in before you even think about trying to run for president. All you doing is wasting time. Just like that homosexual dude that called himself running for president, Mayor Booty Cheeks. Mayor Booty Cheeks. Appreciate it, brown sausage. You go ahead and waste your time liking everybody. I'm not asking you to like me, but listen to what I'm saying and weigh the facts. This ain't look, I don't run a popularity contest. If you go to my YouTube channel, some of my videos have 10, 20,000 views. Some of them don't even have 200 views. You know why? Because I'm not running a popularity contest. I'm running an information contest. I'm not trying to be liked. See, I grew up in the generation that you did the right thing. It wasn't about being popular. It was about doing the right thing. And a lot of us have forgotten that because you never grew up in that kind of environment. You grew up in an environment where where you poke your ass out and you whine and cuss and suck dick to get things done. So when they ask you to stand up and be a man, you don't know how to be a man. You up here, you talk like a woman. I swear to God, if you listen to some of these black men that call up these shows, you swear to God, you're listening to a black woman with a man's voice, because everything is I like. I feel. Men don't talk like that. Men make the difficult decisions based on facts. That's why men don't go to church. That's why men don't practice Christianity, because if it doesn't make sense, men don't waste their time. See, women don't have a problem wasting their time. Women have no problem wasting time. That's why they have no problem wasting a man's time. That's why I tell guys, don't let these women get under your skin. If you meet a woman and she don't show you respect for your time, you leave her alone, because it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. You think she wasting your time now? Just wait. Wait till you really get to know her. Today is $5 donation Thursday. Go by AskTheIceman.com. Scroll down to the donate button and donate your $5 there. Or you can put in my Cash App ID, which is $ the Iceman 1906. You can put that in and donate. Actually, the Cash App is probably the easiest way to donate. Okay. You don't need an email address and all that crap. No, well, it's not utilized the same way that it is on PayPal. A lot of people don't like using PayPal. They're like, hey, Ice, I don't like PayPal. PayPal be charging fees. I know, that's how they make their money. That's why I tell people to use the Cash App. Make sure you guys pass along these hashtags. Tangible Reparations 2020 and hashtag cut the check. I don't care what the Democrats are talking about. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. Why are you even talking about any Democratic candidate if they're not talking about cutting that check to ADOS blacks? Okay. I have nothing against African brothers and sisters. I have nothing against Caribbean brothers and sisters. But ADOS blacks, those of us who are foundational blacks, whose foremothers and forefathers, our ancestors, we can trace directly back to slavery. We should have a check coming. I want to be able in my lifetime to make sure, even though my dad may not need any money, I want to see him be able to get a check based on the mistreatment of his ancestors as well as mine. I want him to be able to benefit from that in his lifetime, because it's only fair. You dig? I talked to my dad, was it Tuesday? Yeah, I talked to him Tuesday. Was it Tuesday? Or was it yesterday? Man, what day did I talk to my dad? I can't remember. I think it was Tuesday I talked. Yeah, it was Tuesday. That is old to us. That's not something where we're just up here whining, black folks. This is something that is old to us. Not just because they took our money from the freedmen's banks, not just because they took our land during Jim Crow and took their, they used to just go and take black people's land. They're still doing that shit. See, a lot of black folks think that a lot of the stuff that I talk about and others like me on social media, y'all think I'm talking about some shit that happened 80 years ago. I'm talking about stuff that is still happening today. I just gave you 5 signs, and that's just the basic list of why we are still in slavery. Anytime you have restricted mobility, you are a slave. Anytime any white citizen around this country can accuse you of rape, can accuse you of assault, can accuse you of any crime, and you ain't done nothing. And the police have the nerve to put you in handcuffs and take you to jail. And then that no good judge with that black robe on has the nerve to put a case on you, or some racist ass jury, some old racist ass prosecutor. I don't care how many degrees you have. I don't care how many white collar jobs you have. I don't care how much you get paid. Bill Cosby's sitting in prison right now. And he's got a doctorate in education, and he's worth $400 million. If they can get Bill Cosby, they damn sure can get your black ass. Ain't none of them degrees, ain't none of them white collar jobs gonna keep your ass out of prison if they come for you. You live under a racist, apartheid slavery system. You live in a racial caste system. And it needs to be outlawed and eradicated. You ain't free yet, black man. You ain't free, man. I ain't free. You can't do this without you. Let me say something to you. Let me say something to the brothers and sisters. Let me say something to y'all, man. Look here. The Democrats ain't gonna never get you out of bondage. Never. You know the Republicans ain't, but the Democrats ain't gonna do shit for you, just like they have been able to get away with the last 50 years. They've been able to fool you into believing that they have your best interests at heart, and yet you keep voting for them. That we love, especially college educated blacks. We love to make fun of these mayonnaise sandwich eating po-ass, podunk, white supremacists. We love to put them down and say, "Oh, y'all vote Republican. Y'all vote against y'all best interests." And you don't? You vote for any Democrat they stick in front of you because your grandmama voted? If you have any respect for yourself, you'll stay home on election day if the Democrats don't provide you with a candidate who is serious about giving you tangible reparations, not innuendo. I don't want open promises. I want the check. We want that bag. That's what we want. And if you're not an ADOS black foundational black person, you don't get anything. And that's no disrespect to all of y'all who's from, you from another country. No disrespect to you. This is not a club. This is serious business. You live in a country where they'll sit up here and bring these dirty ass motherfuckers over here and treat them better than they treat your people. Because in 10 years, when they become citizens, they want them to vote. They want them to take over the votes that that your voter apathy has created. See, right there, you ought to feel disrespected. You ought to feel disrespected that you got presidential candidates running a monkey ass all around the country trying to suck up the white folks because they know black folks are not going to vote for them. You got Cory Hooker's ass running all around the country kissing white ass because he has no base. Cory Booker has no base. How you going to be a black Democratic candidate and you have no black base? Ain't nobody going to vote for Cory Hooker's silly, corny ass. And let me say this to all you brothers out here that you love Hispanic women so much. Let me just say this to you. Black men, stop embarrassing yourself going ape shit over Hispanic women. First of all, look, if you've dated plenty of them as I have here in the States and abroad, you know they ain't the cleanest motherfuckers on the planet. Okay? Stop going ape. Look here, man. Sexual interracial access is on the minds of too many black men. Let me explain something to you. Hispanic women don't want you. They don't. They don't. They want their own men. As ugly as they men might be, as nasty as their men might be, they want their men. Whenever I've messed around with Hispanic women and they start talking that bullshit, Oh, I remember one time I was messing around with this Mexican chick. She talked about Mexican men are so nasty and dirty and smelly. I said, yeah, you still fuck with them too. So you go find somebody else to talk that shit to. You ain't fooling me. Black men are so hard up for interracial sex that you'll make a fool out of yourself. Don't ever let your penis impede upon your political your political ideology. Because you got a lot of brothers say, oh man, I hope they let all them Hispanic women in here so I give me some ass. Them women don't, when they come over here, they ain't looking for no black men. They looking for dirty ass motherfuckers that look like them. You idiot. Got stupid ass black men sitting up here on Facebook. I go down to Colombia every other week. Yeah, you go down there being a trick. You go down there being an international trick. Word up, Brandon Townsend. You got black men out here that think that interracial sexual access is that it seems like that's the only thing on niggas' minds. I know guys that state that will never will never relocate outside of San Antonio, Texas, because there's always a possibility of some Mexican ass around the corner. And I'm like, dude, are you a fucking idiot? The Republicans and the Democrats allow these people to come over here to replace you. That's why that's why when I go around America, when I drive around America, because I don't like to fly, I drive. When I drive around America and I go to these hotels and they got white women or white men in there cleaning their hotel room, I'm like, yes. Yes. Okay, I was in the upper Midwest a few weeks back. Hotel had nothing but white males and black men doing the maintenance around the hotel, and the white women were cleaning the hotel room. I was like, yes. 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 Some of these places around America ain't no bastion for illegal immigrants. They don't allow that shit. They like, oh no, we'll hire somebody white or somebody black before we hire one of these motherfuckers. Okay? So a city like that, hey, I might consider moving there. Okay? Even if they have African, now you go to the Twin Cities, you go to, you get a hotel room in the Twin Cities, it's liable to be, African, they're liable to have African women working in the hotels. I don't have a problem with that either. And I make sure I leave a tip. Okay? I'll leave a tip. I ain't leaving one for no Mexican. I remember one time this one Mexican chick I used to know down there in Stank Antonio. Here she's an esthetician. And I just happened to find her on Facebook, and I think I sent her a friend request and she accepted, and she sent me her number and we started talking, and she's talking about, first she asked me, would I help her as far as marketing and stuff like that? And I was like, yeah, I'll help you out. I'll give you some basic tools. I ain't gonna give you my paid consulting services, but I'll give you a little bit of information. But then she came at me like I was a trick. I was like, hey, this ain't 2005. Okay, I'm not interested in you as far as dating. And there's some aesthetic reasons, but there's some other reasons why I'm not interested in dating her. But she came at me like I was a trick. And because I didn't want to, get services from her, she started tripping. And I was like, bye. Deuces. I ain't one of these black men that go ape shit over non-black women. I don't do that. Let me explain something to you. I have my issues with black women's behavior. But let me tell you something. When it comes to the dating hierarchy, I will date a black woman above any other woman. Even if I'm dating somebody of another race, I'll tell them straight up, oh, I still date black women. So don't think you got a special place in my heart, because you don't. Oh, they hate that. That's why if you notice, whenever you date a white woman, they always want to know how you feel about black women. I'm like, why are you asking me questions about how I feel about black women? What difference does it make? Because sooner or later, they're going to start talking that disrespectful, racist bullshit. Like, oh, black women ain't shit. Oh, they'll start saying stuff like that. Black women are ugly. And your dumb black ass will tolerate it if you ain't paying attention. I only deal with non-black women just as something to do. But I look to date black women. Now, unfortunately, a lot of these black women are not dating worthy. But whether they, because I don't date overweight women. I don't date black women with a bunch of kids. I don't. But I ain't gonna mess around with a woman that's got kids but I ain't gonna mess around. I ain't gonna sit up here and give non-black women a green light. They ain't got it like that. You digs? Appreciate it, Damon. Be cool. Let's try to raise $50 tonight, guys. We're at $15. Let's try to raise $50 tonight. All right. Let's do that. With all the problems that black women may bring to the table, I will still date a black woman over any of these other women. Why? Because I'm black and I look like a fool being against black women just because they're black women. No, let's get something straight, guys. Be against black women's behavior and their ideology. Don't be against them as people. Because now you getting into dangerous territory. Remember, these white supremacists are trying to rid the earth of your presence. They all over in Africa spreading Ebola all over Africa. Remember, they can't shoot all of us. So they're gonna kill some of us with They're gonna kill some of us with drugs. They're going to kill some of us with criminal behavior, putting us in a position with economic deprivation where we have to turn to crime to make a living. The rest of us, they're going to keep us out of the workforce. They're going to lock some of us up. They're going to use medical racism to kill some of us. They're going to use whatever means they have at their disposal to get black people out the paint. And it's up to us to be smart enough not to fall for the shit. See, when you hear a black woman walk around this motherfucker talking about I'm a feminist, you know she's a damn fool, because that's a oxymoron. You can't be a black person and a feminist. Because anybody that knows feminism knows that feminism ain't nothing but white supremacy. Got Aisha Curry whining about men not checking for her. So you want thought attention, huh? See, that's one of the reasons why I probably will never get married to another American woman, because look how they think. People respect your husband and they respect you, and you still don't like it. You still want to be, you want to have the same attention that a thought that a thought gets. Let me explain something to you. Thoughts get old. And have you ever seen an old thought my age? Huh? Do you really want to be these 40 and 50-year-old black women who's way past their prime and they got all this cellulite and all this jiggling shit hanging off of them, and they still taking pictures and post them on Facebook, and you got all these thirsty ass desperate niggas talking about, ooh, you sexy. I'm like, nigga, if you don't get out of here with that bullshit, only a desperate clown would sit up there and like a picture of a 50-year-old woman with wearing a bikini with all that nasty cellulite hanging off of them. That's why non-black women, once their men have lost interest in them and they've gotten old, that's why a lot of these old racist ass women from these other race groups start dating black men. Or they give the impression that they date black men. So they'll go on Plenty of Fish, or they'll go on Match.com, and they'll talk about, oh, I date black men, and they really don't date black men. They just say they do. So you'll meet them and give them a free dinner or a free drink. I call it dine and dash. They'll show up, get that free glass of wine and that free dinner, and disappear into the night, and you'll never hear from that bitch ever again. I wonder if black men are getting hip to the dine and dash caper. I bet a lot of y'all still be trying to do online dating, and I guarantee you getting your face cracked. You ain't gonna run that dine and dash shit on me. Cause I'll be like, we met on social media, so I think you should go ahead and get your drink and I'll get mine. Or you get your dinner and I'll get my dinner, because I'm not giving you shit. You ain't getting anything out of me. And boy, did they poke their mouth out. 2 checks? Oh, sir, you want 2 checks? Yeah, 2 checks. All that shit she ordered, she gonna pay for that shit. Then all of a sudden, there's no more, she don't want that drink freshened up. But when she thought I was gonna pay for it, the bitch was like, oh, would you like another glass of wine, ma'am? Oh, sure, hit me. He's paying for it. Oh, no, he ain't. I ain't harder for female attention. And I don't care whether I get interracial sex. Been there, done that. Been there, done that. Next challenge. What up, Mr. Williams? Mr. Gilbert Williams was cracking, yo. But the Democratic Party is desperate because they know this 2020 presidential election is going to be crucial. Crucial to the point where the Democratic Party is going to have to make some major changes come after 2020, because they're already. Do you know that the racist ass media is already posting op-eds talking about if Trump is reelected, blame black people articles. Have you seen these articles online? If you don't get the fuck out of here, you lost, because you didn't provide black folks with anything tangible. We're not going for the benign neglect banana in the tailpipe thing again. We're not going for that no more. See, that 2016 election was a wake-up call to the Democrats. So they really have been promoting bringing Sancho and Maria and all them in here because those are going to be the, not only are they going to replace us in the labor force, but they want them to replace us as a voting bloc. So if you want to know the reason why they keep allowing these burglars to keep breaking into your country, that's why. And they're all in on it, the Republicans and the Democrats. Remember, the Democratic Party is the left wing. The Republican Party is the right wing. And they're all connected to the same infected, racist, white supremacist bird. And all that bird has been doing for the past 500 years is dropping bird shit on the foreheads and on top of the domes of black folks. How long are you going to allow them to keep playing this game? How long are you going to allow them to run this hustle on us and get our votes for free? You know, black folks ain't got a whole lot. But what little leverage you do have, you need to utilize it to the best of your ability, to the best of your ability. If it comes down that they don't present a Democratic candidate that is viable enough to get your vote, then don't vote. It ain't gonna kill you to not vote. You ain't losing anything. As a matter of fact, it's a win-win. It's a win-win. The Democratic Party has always taken us for granted. And that has to end. Don't let them run that shit on you for another election. You got AOC running around here talking about the Green New Deal. Well, the New Deal that FDR put forth back in the 40s did absolutely nothing for us. The only people the New Deal helped was create the white middle class. It did nothing for us. Why are we so afraid to stand on our own 2 feet instead of living on our knees? Why? Why are you so scared that you are too scared to stand on your own 2 feet? Well, brothers and sisters, it's time to wake. The wake-up call was last election. Matter of fact, the wake-up call's been sounding off the past 150 years. These people are never going to respect us and treat us like we deserve to be treated until we start standing up for ourselves and start working together. Black folks, you don't have to like me and I don't have to like you, but we have to agree on how we push our race group forward economically. This ain't about liking anybody. We need to get off the you gotta like me and I gotta like you. No, you gotta respect me and I gotta respect you, but I don't have to like you. Everybody in this room, in both of these chat rooms, work with somebody they don't like, but they have to respect that person because they want to keep their job. Stop looking for people to like their agenda. If their agenda meshes with what you are looking for, then you support them. Otherwise, you don't. And you are under no obligation to vote for anybody if they're not providing tangible resources to you. I don't give a damn if grandma did have to walk 20 miles to vote. I could give a damn. I'm not voting for you unless you give me what I want. Stop, black folks. We got to stop acting like the battered wife in the battered relationship. We got to stop listening to the husband say, well, baby, I ain't going to hit you no more. I ain't going to hit you no more. Pow, bitch. Pow. Then the next day, baby, I ain't going to do it no more. I ain't going to do no more. They'll let 2 days go past and treat you like a queen, buy you flowers, take you out to dinner. And then 2 days later, bitch, whooping that head again. That's us. AOC ain't looking out for you. Her Green New Deal is another bullshit smokescreen that is only going to help Caucasians and not us. And he got so many black men. You should see the black men on social media. Every time somebody posts an article about this idiot woman, or they post a picture of her, you got all these black men. Ooh, she fine. Ooh, that's kind of Puerto Rican chick I like. That woman looks like Mr. Ed. She got a mouthful of teeth. Everybody else got 32 teeth. Her ass got 40. Ain't nothing good look. I don't care. Let me just say this. See, this is how you know a lot of black men ain't got no fucking sense. I don't care how AOC looks, but if you want to talk briefly about how she looks, she is not attractive. She ain't got any ass, and to show you how much she think of her own people, she's dating a white dude. See, let me explain something to you about these Hispanics. Let me tell you how Hispanics think. Their lot in life, their aspirations in life is to be considered white. They're already Caucasian, but they want to be considered white, like how Italians are considered white. But they'll never reach that status because Italians totally assimilated. These Hispanics do not want to totally assimilate. They don't. They want to be able to walk around speaking Spanish like they in little fucking Mexico. They want to speak Spanish like they still in El Salvador. And as long as they want to do that, they'll be out on the margins of our society, and rightfully so. Fuck out of here. Man, AOC, she fine. I mean, man, used to see some of the stuff these black men be writing. Any old Hispanic woman, she could be the ugliest motherfucker on the planet. You'll still have black men. Oh man, I like Hispanic women. I'm like, dude, you need to stop. Find out how to deal with your women first before you run over here trying to fuck with somebody else's women, because they got men. They got their men. See, Hispanics, their aspiration is to be considered white. Whereas your aspirations are a whole lot higher than that. See, most black people don't want to be white or don't want to be Caucasian. See, white is not a race, it's a lifestyle. See, I've been around Hispanics my whole life, and the one thing, especially Mexicans, and the one thing I notice about them is they got low self-esteem. They got low individual and collective self-esteem. They love to coon it up once you bring some white folks in the room. They worse than us. So if they can get a white man or if they can get a white woman, they're in heaven. They're in racial heaven. Y'all dig? Can you dig it? So black men, you can't afford to walk around here lusting after Hispanic women, and we got all this work to do. Get your head out of your ass and start handling business, because all non-black women see black men as tricks. They have no respect for you. They'll call you, they'll be like, let me call this nigger, let me call this Mayate so I give me a free drink. Because they know you'll take them out, spend your warehouse paycheck money on them, and then be broke the rest of the week and can't buy lunch when you go to work because you done sat up here and blew your money on some old Hispanic single mom who ain't got shit with your dumb ass. But that's where we're at. The Democratic Party is shaking in their boots right now because they know that the end game, they know we ain't playing this time around. Normally, black folks will say they're going to do something, and then 5 minutes later, we back to playing. We're back to drinking and turning up and clowning and twerking and acting like idiots. But this time around, they see, oh, these black folks ain't playing. So what they doing, all these Democratic candidates, they running all around the country kissing white ass, trying to get white voters. And it's a waste of time because the casual racist white voter ain't voting for them. The casual white voter, racist white voter, is voting for Trump. And let me say this real quick about the media and the Gallup, these polls, these lying ass polls. Guys, you remember when during the 2016 election, they had Hillary, CNN got ahead of themselves and was like, oh, Hillary won. Remember that? Hillary won. And I was like, why are they saying Hillary won when I'm looking at this the electoral college thing they had up on the screen? Clearly Donald Trump was losing the popular vote but whooping her ass on the electoral college. And CNN embarrassed themselves. Y'all see where I'm going with this? The media are a bunch of liars. These polls are lying. These polls are so statistically inefficient. They just outright be lying. Do you realize how many people in secret support Trump just because? Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted, player. You'd be surprised how many LGBT and middle of the road white supremacists are going to vote for Trump, even though they might be a registered Democrat. Why? Because he exudes power and he exudes a forward white supremacist agenda. Just because the liars they got up there on MSNBC and CNN might try to act like they're anti-Trump. Let me tell you something. For every Trump, every white person that doesn't support Trump, there's 50,000 more who do support Trump. And even though jobs have been going over, during the, jobs have been going over here to China and all these other places, they still support Trump. His presidential rate, his approval rating is at the same level that Obama's was at when he was running for re-election. Did y'all know that? So when they try to make it, so when the left wing media tries to make it like Trump is hated and despised all over America, that's a lie. That's a lie. And stop looking at CNN and MSNBC acting like they got something to say. They ain't got shit to say. Stop listening to these liars. Trump is every bit popular as Obama was at the same time in his White House tenure. Don't get it twisted. Hey guys, I'm gonna take a quick break. If you haven't donated, please do so. You can go to AskTheIceman.com, scroll down to the add to cart button. Scroll down to the donate button and donate your $5 there, or you can go to the Cash app and donate. So I'm gonna give you time to do that. I'm gonna take a quick break. I'll be back in 2 and 2. Keep it locked right here on the Iceman Show podcast. Tune in to the Iceman Show podcast. I am your host, the Iceman. If you haven't donated yet, make sure you do. Go over to asktheiceman.com, scroll down to the donate button, or you can use the free Cash App. And my Cash App ID is $ the Iceman 1906. And you can donate that way. All donations are 100% tax deductible. So in 2020, you can write these donations off on your taxes. You digs? We are in a very important social position, socio-political situation and position here in America. And what separates this time from any other time and makes this very an important and very critical time is that this is the first time in history that Black folks are making a political party buckle. We know that the Democrats have no intention of doing anything for us. So, and because that's their ideology, what we are going to do is help them commit party suicide. Because if the Democrat, let me explain something to you. Depending on Hispanics as a voting bloc is probably not a smart thing to do, because they are a mixed bag. And if history is any indication of anything, we know that most of the time these Hispanics come over here and become Republicans, not Democrats. So for them to use that strategy is the most ridiculous thing, and it shows how stupid they are. It shows you how stupid the Democratic executives are at the Democratic Party. It shows you how stupid they are. That they think that these Hispanics are going to be grateful for them allowing them to break into our country illegally, that in a few years, once they get amnesty and become citizens, they're going to get reward. They're going to reward the Democratic Party by voting Democrat. That's the most asinine, dumbass ideology I've ever seen in my life. But that's what they think. If you don't believe me, look at the facts. Most Hispanics in this country vote Republican, not Democrat. So this shit is funny to me. They think they're going to be beholden to them because they let them sneak in their goddamn country illegally. Fuck out of here. What kind of strategy is that? That's why you notice most of these senators and these Democratic senators and congressmen and women keep running their ass down to the border trying to act like they care about them people. Let me explain something to you. These white Democrats don't give a shit about Hispanics. They don't give a shit about them, just like they don't give a shit about us. Because what they're not telling you is all the scores, hundreds of thousands and millions of illegal immigrants who break into this country illegally, and they get locked in $6 and $7 and $8 an hour jobs. They get locked in these dead end jobs. Go on YouTube and look for a look for a movie a documentary called Permanently Temporary. And they're interviewing all of these Hispanics who are locked in these dead end jobs. And they like, when they came to America, when they broke in, when they not came to America, when they broke in America, they came over here for the American dream. And this is not the American dream. To be locked in poverty, they go from one impoverished situation to another. So don't let the left wing media fool you into thinking these people come over here and become multimillionaires and rich folks and middle class. They don't. Most of them are locked in dead end jobs that are worse than the jobs you have. But that's what they asses get. Why should you, if I can't look, have you ever looked at the immigration laws in some of these these Latin American countries like Mexico, El Salvador? They do not take people from other countries. Mexico is the most hypocritical country on this planet. They are the most hypocritical country. They promote sending their people over here to pollute our country, but yet they make it almost impossible for you to immigrate to their country. Why? Because they are politically and socially irresponsible, and they do not take care of their own people. But yet they want America to take care of their goddamn citizens. Fuck out of here. And you got niggas, you got black folks over here supporting this shit. You're a fool if you support this shit. If anything, you ought to be standing next to me saying, send them motherfuckers back over there to their fucking country. You don't give asylum to somebody. You don't give asylum to somebody just because they don't like their country and they don't like how their country's treating them. You stay your ass in your country and you make your country do right by you. That's what you do. You make your country do right by you. Don't bring your ass over here taking resources away from black folks, because that's what they're doing. They're taking resources from your, if not directly from you, from your children and your children's children. And you're already struggling to get treated like a human being in the country that your people built. And you're going to bring somebody else over here because America's always looking for a free ride. The 1%ers are always looking for a free ride somewhere. Fuck out of here. We got to get off of that, man. These people are taking your resource. Every time these illegals come over here, they're taking food off your plate. They're not taking food off these Caucasian people's plate, off the white middle class and the white upper class. They're taking food off your plate and my plate. And why are you so happy to give it to them? Sounds like self-hate to me. Get it together, black folks. Hey, what up, Assad? The time has come for Black folks to be politically and economically and socially selfish. Stop trying to feed everybody else when you ain't getting fed properly. That makes us look stupid when we're happy to feed some other racist group, some other race group. We're willing to give them our resources. That makes us look like fools. How long do you think we're going to be able to do that and get away with it without us losing everything? That's what's going to happen. We're going to end up losing everything. What little nothing we do have, those resources are going to be transferred to Sancho and them. Is that what y'all want? That ain't what I want. We got to show the Democratic Party we mean business. That we don't care about twerking and partying and drinking and act like fools. We're going to see this thing through to the end. And if the Democratic Party is going to play games and not provide us with the resources that we demand, you'll never, ever get our votes ever again. And you can sit up here and kiss Sancho and them's ass. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. But we're not going to be, we're going to sit these elections out. If we don't get what we want, then we stand down. And I am asking all of you that if they are not willing to give us what we want, then stand down. Sit this next election out. You're not losing anything. You're not losing anything by not voting. You sitting up here talking about Dewey and all these jam sandwich eating, mayonnaise eating Caucasians out here. You talking about how they vote against their best interest, where you do the same thing. When you blindly vote for a damn Democrat who ain't gonna do shit for you. Let me ask the Black women down there in the great state of Alabama. Let me ask y'all a question. What has Senator Doug Jones done for you since he's been senator? I'll wait. Doug Jones, 98% of Black people, 98% of Black women voted for Doug Jones, and Doug Jones ain't done shit for you, has he? See, that's what happens when you blindly support the Democratic candidate and you don't put them in a situation where they are beholden to you. That's what happens. They get in office and they ignore your ass. Okay? Wouldn't have made me no damn bit of difference if a Republican had got that seat. Doesn't mean anything to me if you're not putting any tangibles in our hands. Then you're not going to get the vote. And I'm not going to wait for the election after this one. The next election that comes up, I'm not voting for you. Or I'm not voting at all. That's how we going to do it this time around. We have to start looking out for our selfish interests and stop trying to be everybody's fucking buddy. You sitting up here talking about, well, what about black and brown relations? There is no black and brown relations. Only in your twisted fucking mind. Whenever I listen to Spanish language television and they're talking about political issues, not once do they ever say black and brown. That's the only shit we say. We only say that dumb shit. Hispanics look out for Hispanics. They don't look out for us and them. We're the only dumbasses that talk that black and brown shit. There is no black and brown alliance. It's just us. Now, you have a lot of stupid black women who want some Hispanic friends. That's fine. You can have all the Hispanic friends you want. But when it comes time to move those resources, I guarantee they're going to be looking out for their group. So why are you looking out for them? I don't look out here for Hispanics. I look out for myself. Can you dig it? Saturday is going to be another installment of the Player Circle podcast. The topic will be, is marriage of benefit to American men, and what porn does to a relationship, part 2. We did part 1 last week, and if you didn't get a chance to listen to it, I'm sorry, but it's on lockdown. If you want to listen to it, I ask that you donate $10 and I will send you the link. Okay? Remember, nothing is free. Information is free. My time isn't. Okay? So part 2, we're doing this coming Saturday. You digs? We're going to start the show at 2 p.m. Pacific time. 2 p.m. Pacific time. Iceman Show, the Player Circle podcast. Now remember, if you're not subscribed to my channel and you haven't hit the little bell, then you may not get notified that we're on the air. So make sure when you hit the subscribe button, you also hit that bell. Okay? That way, once I go on air live, you'll get notification. You digs? But we're gonna do part 2 this Saturday. Okay? $10 donations for Saturday. Remember that. All right? Like to thank the Brown Sausage, my brother. Appreciate it, brother. I love you. Appreciate your being a mod in the system and keeping everybody intact, keeping everybody in line. Like to thank Asad Dennis. Ain't heard from you in a minute, young blood. Hope everything's going good for you. Human Paradox, I ain't heard from you. Holla at me, man. Where all my veterans at? What happened to all the veterans that used to listen to the show? Hey, man, y'all don't get how can y'all don't listen? Y'all don't support the show no more, man. What's up with that? What up with that? Where my veterans at? Like, thank all of you guys for supporting the show. My longtime listeners, man, you guys are not, you guys are family. Asad Dennis, Brown Sausage, B the Great B, couple other players. Hey, J 24 hours. We don't do super chat. The super chat's not set up yet. All right. Let me just say this in closing, ladies and gentlemen. The Democrats and the Republicans created poverty, created impoverished tenements and ghettos around America. We didn't create the ghetto. They created the ghetto for us, and they can wipe it out with a stroke of a pen. But why would they do something else that fucking smart? Ladies and gentlemen, it is upon us to take care of business and to get ourselves out of this situation. Will you stand with me and do so? I hope so. Remember, you ain't got to like me and I ain't got to like you, but we got to be on the same page economically. You digs? You tuned in to the Iceman Show podcast. We had a good show tonight. Make sure you are in the house on Saturday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Don't meet me there. Beat me there, y'all. Come on, man. Be in the house. All right? Be in the house. We're gonna chop it up, and we're gonna we're gonna chop it up and get that information put out there so everybody can get educated. But that's what's cracking. You're tuned in to the Iceman Show podcast. I am your host, the Iceman. If you haven't donated, please go to AskTheIceman.com. Scroll down to the donate button. Get them shits cracking. Or you can hit me on the free Cash App. My Cash App ID is $ the Iceman 1906. Please don't let the night end before you donate. Come on, man. It's just $5. That's all we're asking for. You're tuned into the Iceman Show podcast, the Players Circle podcast, this coming Saturday, 2 p.m. Pacific time. Be there, yo. Holla at your boy. Yeah, I'll talk about it Saturday, brother. I'll merge it into what we're talking about Saturday, all right? I love you too, Gilbert. Thanks a lot for supporting, man. Appreciate it. Thank you guys for the donations, man. Let's keep it going. Let's get this information out there, and let's make sure that the Democratic Party is abreast of what we want and abreast of our demands and what we want, brother. All right? Y'all take care. Have a good night, and I'll see you guys on Saturday. Remember to subscribe to my channel, Mad Voodoo Man.